So today we're going to be working on Bailey's E46, and he's replacing a Gubo and a center drive shaft support, as you see there. And first thing we got to do is drop the exhaust so we can drop the protective heat cover. And once we get the exhaust dropped, we'll show y'all what we're working on under there. Okay, so here we was dropping the exhaust, and there's two bolts connected to the headers, and then there's two hangers connected in the middle of the exhaust. And around the back end there is two other hangers that are rubber grommets, and we just unbolted those from the chassis. Therefore, it was easier to remove the exhaust instead of removing the hangers completely.
So exhaust is pulled out of the car. Got that done. I'm getting under here to show y'all. Fire shield comes out next. Or fire, yeah. We're at the drive shaft now. Should be like 6 bolts on the drive shaft connecting transmission to drive shaft, and then have CSB here. That's going to be 2 bolts. And then once we pull this completely out, we'll have access to the CV joint. We'll have to pull that out, and then that will be getting the drive shaft out. I guess we're gonna cut to another time lapse of getting all that out for y'all, and then give you another update when the drive shaft's out. So, fire shield is out. A few things I want to note for you E46 boys. If you look closely, you can see this arrow here. Obviously my Gubo is torn all to hell, or excuse my language. But you see this arrow, how it's pointing that way. You want those arrows on this connect. You see how that arrow is pointing that way? That's not supposed to be like that. Whoever installed this did a BS job. You want those arrows on this connect, and then this arrow on this connect going that way. Also forgot to add a bolt, but we're gonna get this pulled out, fix that. Got a brand new one for that. And then here we've already loosened it just a little bit, but it's got a lot of play when it was tight. Does not need that much play at all, especially. Gonna replace that as well. Just wanted to inform you a little bit, make sure you put it on right. Another thing is, when you put your bolts in, don't let this free spin. It'll start messing with the binds inside the rubber. That'll cause it to wear out quicker. You don't want that either. But yeah, we'll cut to the time lapse of trying to get this thing out now.
So here we are taking out the drive shaft from the transmission and the center drive shaft support bearing. There's 2 bolts on the center drive shaft support bearing and 6 bolts on the transmission that you need to take out.
Drive shaft is now pulled out. If you look here, we have a marking. We'll have a marking on this one and a marking on the drive shaft connecting to diff, so that way we can line everything back up how it was when it came off the car. Examine your CSB. You see how this part protrudes from the inside of this bearing right here, and on this side, well, it does the same shit, but just make sure you line it up as good as you can to how it was. Just pay attention, look over everything, examine before you just start sticking parts back on. And besides that, it should be good. We're gonna replace these 2, pop it back in the car. Hopefully shouldn't take too much longer to get everything done, and we're gonna go on a drive and see how it does.
So here we were trying to get this little Carter C-clamp pin out. There's a certain a certain plier they make to get off, but this holds the center drive shaft support bearing into the drive shaft. Therefore, it doesn't have vibration, and that's what was going wrong in the drive shaft. Is what we had to replace. So here we are removing the old center drive shaft support bearing, and we suggest using like a flathead and a mallet and some WD-40 to loosen up the bearing to get it off. It was pretty difficult to get it off. We ended up using the a vice grip clamp, and that was the best method to use. Here we are trying to get the torque spec right, and we had to end up using a vice grip because it couldn't hold the drive shaft still enough. Here we are putting the drive shaft back in. It's easier if you put the drive shaft towards the back end first, and then you can drop it to put the angle right into the transmission just to make it smoother.
Okay, so just in case Coleman's phone died, I'm up in here taking a second video. This is in. Torque spec is 75 foot-pounds all the way around. Wasn't able to replace the Gubo this time because even though I bought a kit set for my car, they still sent me the wrong Gubo. This is in. This is like, I want to say like 35 foot-pounds of torque. 75. To help out just a little bit, I would torque down your drive shaft to Gubo before actually putting it in the car, just make it a little bit easier on you. Besides that, everything is bolted in, and you just start reversing your steps. So now we're going to throw in the firewall and then exhaust, and it should be good to go.
So it seems like we have fixed the problem. There's no more vibration in the drive shaft and no longer any more behind this center console part right here. So we felt vibration here whenever he would do hard launches in third and fourth and anything high RPM, high torque. It would just vibrate the whole car and everything. It wouldn't be good. Also wanted to say thank you for watching, and if you could take a minute, please go down and subscribe and turn on notifications, and thank you for watching. And as of that, I think we're going to end the video here.